motherfucking mama before anything. I'm sick of you low-life bitches trying to discredit me as a mother.
Dress and we went out and
She been doing it ever since?
Ever since.
Oh my
Everything
goodness.
is boots on the ground.
Boots on the ground, huh?
Yeah.
Oh.
Like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
3, 4.
Miss Shirley gonna tell you when she tired. Miss Shirley gonna fucking tell you when she tired. So the is and ain't gonna do nothing either when she tired.
I'm not gonna move, I'm not gonna dance or nothing.
You hush while I'm talking.
Twin, where have you been? Nobody knows me like you.
This arguably adorable mother-daughter duo is none other than Letitia Tucker and her now 4-year-old daughter, Lariah, aka, wait for it, Miss Shirley. How did that happen? Let's just say Letitia's naming skills are on the same level as her parenting skills, questionable at best. If you've somehow avoided news of this controversial mother on social media, congratulations! You might be one of the lucky ones.
Shirley mama need our ass. Come whoop it. Come whoop this motherfucker. I'm double day. My background, you better take the full fucking background, baby. Oh, this is for Miss Shirley's mom. I just think what you're doing and bitch, that ain't for me.
Let's look past the craze for a sec. Her TikTok videos with her daughter are irresistibly cute. And you'd think, aw, they're so sweet. But spoiler alert, this TikTok mom has her toddler doing way more than that on the internet. Letitia's got no problem exposing her toddler to some other seriously questionable stuff, like weird dress-up, and making her dance to songs with lyrics like ass and titties. Lyrics that would have had 2016 Tumblr girls grounded for weeks.
Girl, why I get close to you? Why the fuck I'm calling you? Like, one day you ain't falling through.
What's more, the little girl doesn't drop those steps only on TikTok, she has made it to national TV. All kinds of rumors have been circulating around this woman. From allegedly opening an OnlyFans page for little Miss Shirley, to offering bookings at bars, meet and greets where strange men could dance with their child, because nothing says protective parenting like associating your toddler's brand with adult content. The internet got so furious, someone had to report her to Child Protective Services.
The fuck make y'all think Miss Shirley still on a pamper and a pull-up? Y'all done went and pulled the all. Y'all so damn dumb, y'all can't even do the research for y'all.
This really isn't about sharing cute videos that should have otherwise been posted on a private family group page. It's about exploiting kids for checks. For this deranged TikTok mom, Miss Shirley is no longer a baby in her eyes.
Ever since she was a baby, we have been calling her Miss Shirley.
Letitia is all kinds of red flags to her daughter. Her mouth has no filter around the 4-year-old.
Cause a sick bitch called up there. Way from another state. You way in another state. And worry about what the fuck we got going on.
And you know what makes this whole situation insane? Letitia Tucker doesn't see anything wrong in what she's doing.
And vouch for that, my baby is always with her mama because y'all doing too much. I ain't reading no comments. I ain't responding to no comments. I don't care what.
The internet has been in meltdown mode over Miss Shirley, and rightfully so. But her mother can't seem to care less. Get ready, because we're about to dissect every troubling detail related to Miss Shirley and her criticism-constipated mother. This is a story of how social media fame, parental greed, and society's obsession with viral content can completely destroy a child's innocence and steal their childhood, one TikTok view at a time.
A wine.
Right. Now give me a bed. Thank you.
You're welcome. My case.
Lariah Tucker, or Miss Shirley, she's widely referred to by her nearly 1 million TikTok followers, didn't choose internet fame. She was thrust into it by a mother who saw dollar signs every time her toddler did a hip shake. It started as an innocent line dance, but quickly spiraled into something that got her canceled on the internet. But how did it ever come to this? Let's rewind to where this whole mess started. Because believe it or not, Miss Shirley's story didn't begin with controversy. In fact, if you look at her earliest content, you might actually wonder where things went wrong. The mother-daughter's dance content was sweet and catchy. And that's exactly what makes this whole situation so bloody tragic. It started with something genuinely innocent. Before these dance moves, Letitia only used her account primarily for her hairstyling business, where she showcased her wigging prowess and shared before and after shots of her work. Her husband also featured in one of her shared posts on Facebook.
Look, gang, when you see a dude hanging with his woman all the time, now me.
Standard stuff, really. Nothing that would make you raise an eyebrow. Lariah Tucker first appeared on her mother's TikTok account when she was barely more than a baby. The early content on the account was exactly what you'd expect from a working mother balancing business promotion with family life. Letitia would post videos of her craft and occasional cute videos of her daughters. It was relatable content that many working parents could connect with. But here's where things get interesting, and where you can see the seeds of what was to come. Baby Lariah was not the average kid. She was incredibly funny and entertaining like most kids her age.
Put them shoes on the right feet. Put it on the right foot.
Okay, Mom.
She was smart.
I ain't being mean. I asked that you want some more pancake. You done?
And she had the makings of a dancer.
I'm gonna be 2. How are you?
Unfortunately, this was when Letitia's poor parenting gradually became apparent. It started with this not-so-funny video of baby Lariah after she turned 2.
What you say, Lariah? What you say?
You see, Lariah began to sound a bit too mature for her age. You'd expect a 3 or 4-year-old to be giggling over cartoons, playing with Play-Doh, and getting messy with finger paints. But Lariah's online presence was telling the audience a different story. The more you dive into Letitia's TikTok, the more it becomes clear that this maturity wasn't just natural, it was cultivated.
Watch me move my hips to it, to right, to left.
Scroll through her videos and pics and you'll notice Lariah is constantly surrounded by adults, with barely any shots of her interacting with kids her own age or watching typical kids content like Bluey or Peppa Pig. Even on Facebook, you'll find a treasure trove of pictures of Lariah and many adults, most of whom are probably friends and associates of her mother, but you get the picture. It's like she's been raised in a bubble of grown-up conversations, music, and vibes. Instead of nursery rhymes, she vibed with songs that young adults listen to. Remember, she was only 2 years old in that clip. She not only clocked the beat of the music, but also understood the lyrical cues for the TikTok video. The environment she was born into was way too advanced for her age, and this was quite alarming. It's like Lariah had been fast-tracked into adulthood, minus the actual childhood. No wonder she became Miss Shirley, a mini adult in a child's body. Lariah's stepping game quickly improved. Letitia Tucker's account slowly gained traction, but nothing explosive. Lariah would pop up occasionally, doing her little dances while her mother caught the adorable moment on the other side of the camera. We came to party tonight. We came to party tonight. The videos got decent engagement, a few thousand views, some likes and comments from friends and family. It was organic growth, the kind that happens when you consistently post content that people enjoy. Nothing that would make you think child exploitation or inappropriate content, just a working mom sharing glimpses of her talented kid alongside her professional work. If the story ended there, we wouldn't be talking about any of this today. Lolcow would just be another kid who learned to dance young. Maybe she'd pursue it as a hobby or even professionally when she got older. Her mother would have continued building her hairstyling business, occasionally sharing cute moments with her daughter. It would have been a perfectly normal, harmless social media presence. But, of course, it did not end there. You see, this TikTok mom noticed that Lolcow's content was quickly gaining views, something her initial content had struggled to achieve, and she focused on her daughter's talent for dancing and seized the opportunity to enter TikTok's Hall of Fame. It started with frequent dance videos. Then February 2025 came and changed everything. That's when Lolcow posted the video, the one that would launch her into TikTok's stardom and arguably destroy her childhood in the process. It was a line dance to 803 Fresh's hit song, Boots on the Ground. And Lolcow was absolutely feeling herself. Pastel pink fan in hand, fringe boots on her feet, and the biggest smile you'd ever seen on a 4-year-old's face. She was genuinely having fun, and it showed. The choreography was impressive for someone her age. Coordinated, energetic, and clearly well practiced. She knew every move, every beat, every flourish. This wasn't a nervous child performing for the camera. This was a kid in her element, doing something she clearly loved. According to Tucker, Lolcow started teaching herself line dances by propping up her phone and copying what she saw.
And she learned to dance herself.
Even Lolcow herself told Jennifer Hudson the same thing.
You tell us, where did you learn to dance like that?
Because I see him on TikTok and I learn them.
Now let that sink in for a moment. This kid had access to TikTok and devoted herself to learning dance moves. She was absorbing and replicating complex moves. By age 2, and yes, you heard that right, 2 years old, she was already dancing to some pretty adult music. We're talking Megan Thee Stallion, Gorilla, and club remixes. Not exactly your typical toddler playlist, but hey, kids pick up on everything, right? The video exploded. It amassed close to 4 million likes and over 20 million views. And just like that, Miss Shirley became an internet sensation. She had gone from a few thousand followers to nearly 1 million almost overnight. The comments were flooded with heart eye emojis and people gushing over her dance moves. One commenter wrote, "This is so cute." Some joked that she was just too good to be an ordinary kid. Like this commenter, "She's an old soul right there. She definitely been here before." And the best one yet, this netizen said, or dare I say prophesied, "Baby girl video better go viral." And she did. Baby girl had won the hearts of many people online. Major accounts started sharing the video, celebrity TikTokers were duetting it, and news outlets began picking up the story of the adorable 4-year-old line dancer. For a brief moment, it seemed like pure internet magic, the kind of wholesome viral moment that makes you believe social media can actually be a force for good. A talented kid gets recognition, a family gets some positive attention, and millions of people get a smile in their day. What could go wrong? Everything, as it turns out. In fact, it got progressively worse. Because viral fame, especially when it involves children, is like feeding a monster. It's never satisfied with just one meal. Letitia didn't resist the temptation to feed the algorithm. She knew a few more videos would keep the audience and get her more money and fame. So she continued, and just like she expected, each and every video was doing the numbers. And that, dear friends, was how Letitia Tucker's eyes turned into dollar signs. And Lolcow's childhood effectively ended. This is where we need to pause and have an honest conversation about children and music. Most parents can relate to the mortifying experience of their toddler singing along to an inappropriate song that came on the radio. Kids are sponges. They absorb everything around them without the filter of understanding context or appropriateness. The innocence in those dance steps and facial expressions would make simple minds swoon. Line dancing is huge in certain communities, and it's often a family activity where multiple generations participate together. She even did the dance with her Uncle Mike. It was such a normal concept for the family. So when Lariah started copying these dance moves, it wasn't necessarily a red flag. She was just doing what kids do, mimicking the world around her. And honestly, there's something quite impressive about a 2-year-old having the coordination and memory to learn complex choreography. Most toddlers can barely manage head, shoulders, knees, and toes without falling over. But Miss Shirley twisted and turned with stylish grace.
1, 2, 3. Now step, then step, then turn, go. Now step, then step, then turn, now step, then step, then turn.
But this brings us to a more serious question. Why Miss Shirley? Why take a 4-year-old's nickname and apply it to the entire internet, especially when it's not even a name she goes by in everyday life? And what's with the formal title Miss? It's not exactly the kind of title you'd typically give to a toddler. You'd expect something cute and playful, not a term that'd instantly make you picture your grandma right off the bat. According to Letitia Tucker, the name was just something Lariah had had since she was a baby. A family nickname that stuck.
When she was a baby, like we was getting ready to get in the car one day, and she gave me attitude. She was crying. I was like, now we're not gonna act like this today, Miss Shirley.
That's you as a baby?
Yes.
Yes.
Honestly, I don't know about you, but I'm pretty sure the name Shirley wouldn't tumble out of my mouth from nowhere if a child were giving me attitude. And the fact that Letitia's pushing this nonsense, even getting Lariah to believe it and tell people, is just a bit too sad.
I just call me that name.
Oh, you called you that name. So nobody gave it to you?
No.
What's really going on here? You know what makes this whole fiasco even more scary? There was also a child star in the 1930s named Shirley Temple. She was exploited in her own time. Was history repeating itself in 2025? Letitia stated that it was a random nickname and it had nothing to do with Shirley Temple. But come on, the irony isn't lost on us. Miss Shirley bears an uncanny resemblance to Shirley Temple. The same exploitation she went through in the 1900s is what we're seeing in 4K in 2025, right? We'll come back to that later, because when you really start to peel back the layers, the parallels between Lariah's story and the dark history of child exploitation in entertainment are straight up chilling. Now here's the thing about those early videos. They genuinely weren't that problematic. Sure, a 2-year-old dancing suggestively to explicit music might make some parents uncomfortable, and you'd be justified in raising an eyebrow at the song choices. But kids dance. It's what they do. They hear a beat and they move. There's something undeniably adorable about a tiny kid just vibing to music, completely uninhibited and joyful, even if that music isn't exactly Raffi or the Wiggles. Watch those early videos and you see a child who's genuinely having fun. There's no performance aspect to it, no awareness of an audience. She's just dancing because it makes her happy.
Let me see you move. Let me see you bounce. Let me see you move. Go. Head, shoulders, knees, turn. Head, shoulders.
The movements are innocent, childlike, and honestly quite endearing. She's not trying to be or provocative. She's literally just a baby moving to music she likes. And let's be real, who wouldn't think that this little happy doll was worth the likes and love?
Just call me whenever you're from such. I'll be a friend of the
But Letitia Tucker suddenly changed the tune of the innocent videos by turning them into a full-blown business venture that made watching Miss Shirley seem like you're partaking in a crime.
Slow down, grab, throw off, wiggle like you're trying to make your ass fall out. It's hell if they go on to smash them out now. Speed up, gas that on, gas that off.
The moment that Boots on the Ground video hit those massive numbers, everything changed for the Tucker family. And I mean everything. Suddenly, this wasn't just a cute kid dancing for fun. This was a brand. This was content. This was, most importantly, money. Lariah's follower count didn't just grow, it exploded almost overnight to 981,000 on TikTok and 600,000 on Facebook. To put that in perspective, that's nearly 1 million people suddenly invested in watching a 4-year-old dance. But it wasn't just the numbers that changed. It was the opportunities that came flooding in. She got endorsement deals.
So, baby, I need to teach you how to do my dance.
She landed an appearance on the Jennifer Hudson Show with Niecy Nash.
Hey, and Miss Shirley. Hey, easy Nash. Hey, Shirley.
We're talking mainstream television here, people. Not some small-time local morning show, but a nationally televised program with millions of viewers.
Show you how big or not. Look, this how big.
Yes! Is this how I spread it out?
Miss Shirley had the time of her life on stage. She even whipped those dance moves.
Get it, Papa! Come on, Miss Shirley!
For a 4-year-old, this was basically winning the lottery. But here's the thing about the lottery winners. They don't always end up happier. The Jennifer Hudson Show appearance should have been a dream come true. And in many ways, it was a significant achievement. Here was this little girl from Alabama getting national recognition for her talent. The show treated her like a celebrity, bringing her on stage to perform the dance that made her famous. But if you watch that performance, and I mean really watch it, not just to enjoy the surface-level cuteness, you start to see some concerning elements. The camera work, for instance, is jarring the more you consider it. We're talking about zoomed-in shots, close-ups that linger a bit too long, and angles that seem more appropriate for an adult performer than a preschooler. There's a moment during her Jennifer Hudson performance where the camera literally zooms in on her bottom as she does part of the choreography. Now, I'm not saying the camera crew had malicious intent. They were probably just following standard performance filming protocols. But when your performer is 4 years old, maybe those protocols need to change. The audience reaction is another thing that makes you uncomfortable when you really think about it.
Come on, Miss Shirley!
Listen to the cheers, the way they get louder during certain moves, the enthusiasm that borders on inappropriate when directed at a child. Again, individually, none of these reactions are necessarily wrong. People were genuinely impressed by her talent and coordination. But collectively, it creates an atmosphere that feels more suited to adult entertainment than child performance. The comment section was filled with supporters, people who found the episode cute, like Exhibit A. She didn't care if they were keeping up or not. She was just doing her thing. Exhibit B. She's an old soul. What a beautiful black princess doll. And Exhibit C, who commented, she is amazing. She has the most bright spirit. However, there were others, those with keen eyesight, who saw a mountain of problems evident in Miss Shirley's guest appearance. One of them stated, "This little girl is precious, but she needs protecting, not exploiting." And another commenter wrote, "Do these parents realize that there are predators on these social media platforms? Let our children be children and stop allowing them to do grown-up dances." I don't know about you, but the antis take the cake from me. Watching content that would have you questioning the fun and morality of the entire situation isn't really something I'd find entertaining. The issue wasn't lost on viewers on other platforms like Facebook. Well, you can't blame them, can you? Aside from the already suggestive dance moves, the camera angles, cued zoomed-ins, the cheers, you have to be a clueless child not to notice these problems. This was a 4-year-old dancing with grown adults in front of a crowd and in front of an audience beyond the camera. And let's not forget there are different eyes watching, different minds consuming this content in various parts of the world. But Letitia Tucker didn't see it that way. All she knew is that her innocent daughter was having fun and she was getting money and attention. Their efforts paid off much later when Miss Shirley was featured in the official music video for Boots on the Ground, sharing screen time with the artist himself.
Live in the building.
From here on out, Miss Shirley wasn't your typical toddler with ABC content. Line dancing had become her next move after brushing her teeth. And here's the thing about doing something continuously. It drains you. If you watch that original viral video and compare it to the series that came after, there's a stark difference. In that first video, Lariah looks genuinely joyful. She was not performing for anyone. She was just a kid who loved to dance, doing what made her happy. There was an authenticity to it that was actually quite beautiful. She was dancing because it felt good, not because anyone told her to or because she knew it would get views. But when the content machine started churning, that authenticity began to fade fast. Suddenly, Lariah wasn't just dancing when she felt like it. She was dancing because the algorithm demanded it. Just like this one, there were more videos, similar dances, same energy, except you could start to see some cracks. That genuine smile began to look tired and lazy. The spontaneous joy started feeling more like a performance. There was a visible shift in her demeanor between the early content and what came after the viral explosion. She looked tired, sometimes disinterested, occasionally even annoyed. But the camera kept rolling because the views kept coming. Miss Shirley was working overtime even during her bedtime. What was the best solution to this growing problem? Well, if you're Letitia Tucker, apparently the answer is to push the boundaries further and further. First of all, she created a Dance Universe page on Facebook and even put the words OnlyFans in the profile. To make matters worse, she put up rosters for booking sessions with Miss Shirley. This instantly put people hot on her tail. It was as if they felt like an illegal business was happening right in their faces. And the venues for these bookings, not her living room or front lawn, but places where the vast majority are adults. Picture this, a 4-year-old girl dressed up and performing the same provocative moves that made her famous, but now in environments where she's the only person under 18. It's one thing to make videos of your kid at home, but it's another thing entirely to start booking them for paid appearances. Letitia addressed the OnlyFans issue, claiming it was just poor wording and a coincidence. So loosely translated, she said it's not true.
All the time I got an OnlyFans. It's a fan page. It's not no OnlyFans. The OnlyFans, that's a lie. She's not 3, she's 4, she's not in.
But how is that possible or remotely sensible? We went from her giving her own daughter a controversial nickname to her associating her 4-year-old daughter's brand with a platform synonymous with adult content. At best, it shows a staggering lack of judgment. At worst, it reveals exactly the kind of audience she was trying to attract. Either way, it's not the kind of mistake a protective parent makes. Speaking of protective parents, here's Mom of the Year. Miss Shirley's been made into a hired performer. We're talking about a 4-year-old being booked for events, meet and greets, and appearances across multiple states. And not children's birthday parties or family-friendly events, mind you. Adult venues, bars, nightclubs. Places where you need to be 18 or older to even walk through the door under normal circumstances. Let that sink in for a moment. A 4-year-old child is being booked to perform at venues where she wouldn't legally be allowed to be a customer for another 14 years. She's performing the same suggestive dances to the same explicit music, but now she's doing it in front of crowds of adults who've paid money to see her. Adults who could have driven hours, sometimes from different states, specifically to watch a preschooler dance. Her mother, Letitia, was that momager who thought of nothing but events for her daughter. No school meetings or summer lessons, just bookings at grown events. Here's one with an artist, 80 grand for the 100th year anniversary State Fair Classic coming in September in Dallas.
Thank you.
Yeah. Again, shout out to everybody that has been supporting baby girl. And we looking forward to seeing you at the State Fair Classic. Hey, State Fair.
In that meeting, Letitia listed some of the bookings her daughter had for September.
Yeah, I believe the first one that she got in September, a surprise.
Okay.
As everyone know, her birthday that month, so she got a lot going on. And she got a big show coming up in Vegas.
You know what this toddler doesn't have? Summer lessons and slumber parties with kids her own age. But we're getting ahead of ourselves. Let's talk about what really made people start paying attention to this pair, and not in a good way. As Lariah's videos racked up millions of views and her mother counted the money, something much darker was unfolding in the comment sections and behind the scenes. The internet was starting to notice that the bookmark counts on her videos were astronomical compared to similar content without children. This was a clear indicator that people were saving these videos for reasons that probably wouldn't pass the family-friendly test. Then outside TikTok, the meet and greets, well, let's just say they weren't coming from other 4-year-olds or other parents looking for playdate connections. The awareness for Miss Shirley was getting out of hand. She performed at different functions, including her Uncle Mike's performance. She even ran her own PR along with her mother on TikTok.
But I'm going to meet Tay Cheese, and she doing line dancing. So y'all need to come over here, and she will show you how to do line dancing.
This is where the story stops being about a talented kid who loves to dance and starts being about something much more sinister. Because when you're putting a child in adult spaces, marketing them to adult audiences, and profiting off their innocence, You're not just creating content, you're creating a victim. And everyone involved in booking, promoting, and attending these events became complicit in that victimization. The media coverage didn't take long to follow. News outlets picked up the story, with many expressing concern over what appeared to be blatant child exploitation. Social media exploded with criticism. Parents, child safety advocates, and concerned viewers flooded the comment sections of every Miss Shirley video, pointing out the obvious problems with a mother booking her toddler for adult entertainment. The criticism reached such a fever pitch that multiple people reportedly called Child Protective Services. Letitia's response? She went feral on her live stream. Letitia Tucker went on a defensive rant, calling concerned viewers sick.
For a miserable to call DHS on me about my child that's well taken care of. Y'all.
And claiming they were just jealous, while technically pointing out that they couldn't use their own child to get famous through boots in the air.
He doing boots on the ground. My baby, when you a motherfucking lie. You probably would, because you got your motherfucking boots in the air. Your baby probably wouldn't be doing boots on the ground because you're too busy in the motherfucking air.
She also shared her views about the whole booking issue.
Men don't randomly pick her up and she don't get booked for adult events. It's family oriented or either kids event or either schools.
Letitia sounded smug in her live, boasting about how she essentially slipped away from a CPS problem. She was talking about how the police had no case against her and were basically fans of Miss Shirley.
Police, you know the police wanted to do? Take pictures with Miss Shirley. They wanted to take pictures, but they had...
Letitia ranted furiously on the growing hate she was receiving on social media and said some pretty ugly things with colorful words.
But down talking somebody, what y'all thinking? What's y'all insight on this? What do y'all feel about Miss Shirley's mom? What about your mama? How much pussy she done slung out the back door? Hung her ass out the back.
It doesn't even help her case that her child was in the room with her when this live was going on. What sort of example do you think this behavior would leave on Lariah? Even worse, the TikTok mom completely missed the main problem, which was her obvious exploitation of her daughter. The big problem flew right over her head. The only clapback she thought she made in this video was the threat to sue her online haters.
But when I started getting y'all for defamation of character, bullying, and all that, y'all will leave us fuck alone.
Wow, you go, Mama Bear. Talk about big talk. Instead of taking a step back to consider whether putting her 4-year-old in adult nightclubs might not be the best parenting choice, she doubles down and started blocking comment sections on her TikTok videos to shut out the criticism. Telling people to stay out of your business isn't really a logical backfire. That's the thing about the internet, people. When you post a clip for the world to view, you have to be ready to hear a few opinions on it, even if they come in the form of an inspection from Child Protective Services.
What you gotta do for your kids? But I do shit the right way.
Letitia didn't get the memo, and poor Lariah wasn't aware of the nature of the situation she's living in. Today, the pair continues to showcase their dance steps on TikTok, but the damage has already been done. The people online might have moved on from some past cases, but they've not completely given up on Lariah yet. And they'll make sure Letitia always has the criticisms coming. Watching this whole Miss Shirley situation unfold has been genuinely disturbing on multiple levels. This isn't just internet drama or cancel culture gone wild like most controversial cases out there. This is a live-streamed destruction of a child's innocence, packaged as entertainment and defended as entrepreneurship. What makes it equally worse is how preventable all of this was. That original video of Lariah dancing to Boots on the Ground, it was actually pretty cute. A little girl having fun, dancing with genuine joy, being a kid. If it had stopped there, maybe with a few more similar videos of her just dancing at home for family, nobody would have had a problem. Heck, people would have loved it. But the moment Letitia Tucker saw dollar signs and decided to turn her daughter into a cash cow, everything went to hell. The internet is crawling with all sorts of characters, some who might genuinely find Miss Shirley's performances cute and engaging, and others who might have a questionable sense of attraction altogether. Lariah's day-to-day life now is not what any child would dream of reminiscing about as they grow up. Instead of playing with toys, she's memorizing dance routines. Instead of making friends at preschool, she's performing for strangers who travel hundreds of miles to see her. Instead of having those private childhood moments where you're figuring out who you are, every aspect of her existence is commodified and broadcast to millions. She's 4 years old, and she's already working more than most adults, in environments that most adults would find uncomfortable. What's most frustrating is how Letitia responds to criticism.
Y'all did everything died. That's why your ass miserable as fuck right now.
Instead of taking a moment to consider whether maybe, just maybe, the thousands of people expressing concern might have a point, she dismisses everyone as haters or claims they're just jealous of her daughter's success. She frames legitimate child safety concerns as attacks on a black child's achievements, completely missing the point that people aren't criticizing Lariah. They're criticizing the adult who's supposed to be protecting her. Who knows how this upbringing will affect Lariah psychologically? When your entire childhood is performed for an audience, how do you grow into your own person away from the media's eye? Lariah might be happy with the way things are going for her and her mother, but let's remember something. Children cannot consent to being turned into content creators. They don't have the cognitive development to understand the long-term consequences of having their childhood broadcast to millions of strangers. Lariah Tucker should not bear that burden. Her digital footprint will follow her for the rest of her life. These videos aren't going anywhere. 20 years from now, when she's applying for jobs or trying to build relationships, these clips of her as a toddler dancing provocatively in nightclubs will still be searchable online. She'll have to live with the choices her mother made when she was too young to consent to any of it. The comparison to Shirley Temple that some people have made is actually pretty apt, and not in a good way. We know that child stars from that era faced horrific abuse and exploitation, with their childhoods sacrificed for entertainment and profit. The fact that we're seeing similar patterns play out in real time on social media, with millions of people watching and many actively participating, suggests we haven't learned much from those historical lessons. If there's a lesson to be taken from Miss Shirley's situation, it's this. As a society, we need to be more uncomfortable with child exploitation, even when it's packaged as cute or entertaining. The fact that Miss Shirley's videos got millions of views and thousands of supportive comments shows that we're all somewhat complicit in creating a market for this kind of content. Every view, every like, every share sends a message to parents like Letitia that there's an audience hungry for children performing in ways that would make us uncomfortable if we really thought about it. So where does this all end? Honestly, there's no clear answer at the moment. Letitia has shown no signs of pumping the brakes on her daughter's career, and as long as there's money to be made and attention to be gained, it's hard to see what would motivate her to change course. The Miss Shirley situation tells an important story about how social media fame, parental exploitation, and society's appetite for viral content can combine to create something truly disturbing. And the scariest part? She's probably not going to be the last child we see go through this exact same cycle.